While Robert Bruce was gradually getting possession of the country and driving out the English Edinburgh, the principal town of Scotland remained with its strong castle in possession of the invaders. Sir Thomas Randolph was extremely desirous to gain this important place, but the castle is situated on a very steep and lofty rock, so that it is difficult, or almost impossible even, to get up to the foot of the walls, much more to climb over them. So while Randolph was considering what was to be done, there came to him a Scottish gentleman named Francis, who had joined Bruce's standard and asked to speak with him in private. He then told Randolph that in his youth he had lived in the castle of Edinburgh, and that his father had then been governor of the fortress. It happened at that time that Francis was much in love with a lady who lived in a part of the town beneath the castle, which is called the Grass Market. Now, as he could not get out of the castle by day to see his mistress, he had practiced a way of clambering by night down the castle crag on the steep side and returning up at his pleasure. When he came to the foot of the wall, he made use of a ladder to get over it, as it was not very high on that point, those who built it having trusted to the steepness of the crag. Francis had gone and come so frequently in this dangerous manner that he told Randolph he knew the road so well that he would undertake to guide a small party of men by night to the bottom of the wall. As they might bring ladders with them, there would be no difficulty in scaling it. The great risk was that of their being discovered by the watchman while in the act of ascending the cliff, in which case every man of them must perish. Nevertheless, Randolph did not hesitate to attempt the adventure. He took with him only 30 men and came one dark night to the foot of the crag, which they began to ascend under the guidance of Francis, who went before them upon his hands and feet, where there was scarce room to support themselves. All the while these 30 men were obliged to follow in a line, one after the other, by a path that was fitter for a cat than for a man. The noise of a stone falling, or a word spoken from one to another, would have alarmed the watchman. They were obliged therefore to move with the greatest precaution. When they were far up the crag and near the foundation of the wall, they heard the guards going their rounds to see that all was safe in and about the castle. Randolph and his party had nothing for it but to lie close and quiet, each man under the crag as he happened to be placed, and trust that the guards would pass by without noticing them. And while they were waiting in breathless alarm, they got a new cause of fright. One of the soldiers of the castle, willing to startle his comrades, suddenly threw a stone from the wall and cried out, "Aha, I see you well!" The stone came thundering down over the heads of Randolph and his men, who naturally thought themselves discovered. If they had stirred or made the slightest noise, they would have been destroyed, for the soldiers above might have killed every man of them, merely by rolling down stones. But being courageous and chosen men, they remained quiet, and the English soldiers, who thought their comrade was merely playing them a trick, passed on without further examination. Then Randolph and his men got up and came in haste to the foot of the wall, which was not above twice a man's height in that place. They planted the ladders they had brought, and Francis mounted first to show them the way. Sir Andrew Grey, a brave knight, followed him, and Randolph himself was the third man who got over. Then the rest followed. When once they were within the walls, there was not so much to do, for the garrison were asleep and unarmed excepting the watch, who were speedily destroyed. Thus was Edinburgh Castle taken in the year 1312.